this one more time. We know your memory's not the best.
One of yous work out how your language works and how it programs your conscious, your subconscious and your unconscious mind, it's all over. Okay? One of the things that they have to do, and I'm going to make some sweeping statements and I'll qualify it as I go along. One of the things that they have to do is that they always tell you the truth. And I say the word always. Whenever they don't, they get caught out. There's a reason why that is. Your subconscious mind works at 120 times faster than your conscious mind does. 120 times faster. I am unable to go into the world of the unconscious because it is unconscious. So I will stick with the subconscious. Since it works 120 times faster than your conscious mind, it knows when you're lying, it knows when you're telling the truth, and it knows what the facts are, and it's already performed those calculations 120 times way before the conscious mind gets to it. And you might feel it as a sense of intuition or a dream, and then you act on it, or your conscious mind acts on it 120 years later when it's all over. And that's known as a migration period. That's how long sometimes it can take if one does not listen to their instincts for that information that the subconscious mind gave you, either in the solar plexus or any other part of the world, to alert you to that something is not quite right. That's how long it might take to migrate to the conscious mind. I'll pretend that I'm an agent of the FBI, okay? I'm an agent of the FBI. Soon as you hear that word, agent of the FBI, you're already locked into a sense of terror, because the FBI comes with terror. It means that they are an authority, you have done something wrong, and they have power over you. But your subconscious mind is supposed to kick in. Your subconscious mind works 120 times faster. If it has full access to your psychomotor skills, it'll pick up the FBI agent and chuck him to a side, effortlessly. Yeah, like any animal on this planet can do. My pet dog, when he was alive, could tear open the entire house, and he did so once. He put a whole great big hole inside my Victorian door, and that door is that thick. He chewed it right through because I locked him in there by accident. What am I saying? The point is, when your subconscious mind is alerted, it will perform any task that you want it to. It doesn't matter if it's a car that's on top of your baby, it will pull that aside. It doesn't matter if you're the highest ranking authority on the planet, it will nullify you. It will reduce you to nothing. So the only way that they can get you to stand down is to shut that subconscious mind off. According to according to a lie detector, say a machine invented by Carl Gustav Jung, there's something in you that alerts you to the fact that something is not true. What's happening is that your subconscious mind, since it knows the answers already, is alerting you to the fact that it knows the answer, not that it does not know the answer, not that you don't know the answer, it's just that the answer is that, and only that. And that's how a lie detector machine works. So if I approach you and say, I'm an agent of the FBI, I've essentially shut down your subconscious mind, which is called stand down. Because your subconscious mind knows what an A before a gent means. It means no gentleman. And if I tell the truth, why would the subconscious help you out? I've been honorable by telling the subconscious, I'm a no gentleman. But your conscious mind doesn't know these things. All it knows is that you're an FBI agent. And that's all it knows. They've now locked you out from your subconscious mind. Once that's done, and that subconscious is separated, you are left on by yourself, with your own thoughts, which is known as surface noise, going round and round, and fear starts to take you over. Once that happens, you have very little control even of your psychomotor skills. You might even pee yourself. Happens quite a lot. Okay? So, what does an A before a gent mean? It means no gentleman. How do we know that? If I was to accuse him of being amoral, what have I just said to him?
Not moral.
So an A before a word as a prefix means the very opposite what you think it is. So they created a language for you known as Babel, where your conscious mind speaks this language of no moral, of independence, of request. It speaks this language with dualities and meanings, with quadruple meanings. And some of these words can have hundreds of meanings. By doing so, your subconscious is separated. And with that separation, they created another language, the language of telling you the truth. I'm an agent, which means I'm not a gentleman.
Yep, can't remember diddly.
I know.
Can't remember squat.
That's right.
Diddly squat.
Diddly squat. Now, up, Dory, over here. Now listen to me. We need to ask for directions.
Directions.
But you gotta be low key.
Low key.
Because fish in this part of the reef, very skittish.
Skittish.
All right? You got that?
Uh-huh.
You're sure?
Yeah.
You don't remember a word, do you?
Nope, nothing in my noggin.
Okay. Here's a brand new idea. You stay right here, swim in a little circle, forget to yourself. I'll be right back. I'm gonna ask for directions. Must keep thinking happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts. Excuse me. Whoa. My friend and I need to get to the East Australian Current.
Ah, sure, the EAC. It's in that direction. What you want to do is follow.
Ah, that's so much fun. Woo, they just move. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to turn?
Could a bigger fish swallow me? I will voluntarily go on a hook.
Whoa, hey! Was it something I said?
The Pope has all the authority over that family. He's the father of that family. Remember, your dad said it, my dad said it, every dad says it. You live under my roof, you go by my rules. So when you're under the arch of the church, when you're living under the care of the church or under the father, the priest, or the pope, you go by his rules. Canon law, whatever, it doesn't matter. You go by his rules. If you live under the Capitol dome, if the state is your father, you go by United States Code or any of this other garbage, the public law or whatever. It doesn't even matter what it is. The point is that you've chosen another family, another father, and that father is protecting his child. Remember, you get to choose.
So let's just do one thing on the Libra Code real quick. It says, this is paragraph 38. It says private property, this is out of the Libra Code, private property, unless forfeited by crimes or by offenses of the owner, can be seized only by way of military necessity for the support or other benefit of the Army or of the United States. It says, if the owner has not fled, the commanding officer will cause receipts to be given, which may serve the spoliated owner to obtain indemnity. The receipt to that motherland, the receipt to that mother's DNA, is a certificate of live birth. If you have not fled, in other words, if you haven't run from the name, like a bunch of people are doing right now, is running away from their property, saying it's not mine, it's not my name, it's not my stuff, guess what? If you have not run from the name, if you have not run from the property, if you have not fled, a receipt will be given and you'll be able to obtain an indemnity. That receipt is the certificate of live birth. Understand that the certificate is not the record. The certificate is the receipt of the record. Remember that Mom, when she filled out the forms in the hospital, she did not put pen to bond paper. They created that bond. Mom created a record, but they created a certificate. See the difference? Mom put pen to paper and created a birth record, but the state created a certificate that evidences the record. And that evidence is your receipt. You go back into the pawn shop with your receipt, and now you get back the very deed, i.e. the record. You get back that stuff. You get to put that child to rest. You get to pull that, I don't know, maybe a good term for it would be, how about hostage? You get to pull the hostage away from the Catholic Church. You get to pull that biological hostage away from the Catholic Church. And that's my point, is that the certificate is not the record. The record is the very document Mom created. The author, the authentic record is what Mom actually physically signed. She did not create a certificate. She did not put pen onto a bond paper document. She created a record, but they created a certificate. So let's go to Webster's 1828 real quick and see what it says about certificate. Webster's 1828 says, and I'm going to go down to the transitive verb of that word. It says, to give a certificate, to lodge a certificate with the proper officer for the purpose of being exempted from the payment of taxes to support the ministry in a parish or ecclesiastical society. 2, to give a certificate to, acknowledging one to be a parishioner. And finally, the most important thing of all, it says, but such certificated person can gain no settlement. In other words, if that certificate is outstanding, if it hasn't been returned to the creator of that certificate, that if it's outstanding, you can gain no rest, no settlement. That character will wander, that ghost will wander the earth, will be a sojourner forever, that it will be on its journey forever until you return the certificated person back to the creator. Remember, Mom did not create the certificated person, the state did. Mom put pen to paper and created a record of the birth, but she didn't create the certificate. The certificate is the receipt to the record, the receipt of that deposit made on your behalf as the beneficiary to the motherland. You are, remember the Suffolk Bible says when a man proves life? Remember, at the birth, in the birth process, the captain, i.e. you, were thrown overboard off the vessel. The only thing that showed up on the shores of the hospital, the MASH unit in that Christian war, the War of the Waters, the only thing that showed up was the shipwreck, the vessel itself. The captain, i.e. the child, the biological child, was nowhere to be found, so he was lost at sea. So when you come home, when you come ashore to the motherland, the promised land, and the only way you can do that is what? Is by having the deed to that promised land in hand. Otherwise, the church lays claim to the promised land, lays claim to the motherland, and you can never get home except through the grace of the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church.
Still not too many people very interested in what the hell's going on here.
No.
They don't want to save America.
Well, we save ourselves.
You've got some contacts, Tom, and basically, why aren't they on this call? Okay? If they're so basically concerned with America, why aren't they here?
A couple new people are here today, Patrick.
No, I'm talking about the one that basically you were telling me about, the lawyer, okay?
Okay.
I'm talking about these gurus that supposedly know something out here that other people have talked to, but basically they won't come and talk to anybody else.
Well,
try and help save America. I'm getting pissed at this shit.
I'll talk to her about that, Patrick.
Calm down now, Pat.
Yeah. That's what I like.
No, it's about time we get fucking pissed off here, okay?
Okay.
So like in that movie, The Network, you got to get mad.
Well, I'm not going to take
Well, I was mad. Now I'm happily mad.
Yeah, I mean, basically my phone number's been out here that people could call me and go over this. I mean, you look at this document, basically, you ought to start, wait a minute, is this what's really going on? Just like everybody has never thought about the Social Security number as being a chattel mortgage document. They've talked about it being a trust document and everything else, but never a chattel mortgage. How many numbers are there in a normal mortgage contract? 9 digits. This is a special mortgage. It has to be a chattel mortgage. And then you go back into the Bible and basically you read all about Abraham and Isaiah and all these other guys running around with all their cattle. Well, was it really cattle or chattel?
Exactly.
It was chattel. C-H-A-T-T-L-E. Or E-L.
the owner.
Yeah. And basically that means it's their assets, their property. Now, I mean, you would have had cattle all over the damn place running amok. And cattle, basically, they run everywhere. If it was cattle, see, they turned the word around and got everybody, and that's what they've done with a lot of things in the Bible.
Yeah, for sure.
They've taken one word and replaced it with another when they converted it from one language into another language. So as what we got, okay, the more I thought about this today, we have to come in with our original corporate certificate. Okay, that's your birthing certificate. That's your corporation certificate. Then you had an SSN, fraudulent chattel mortgage number, and then all the attachments like the DD-214 and driver's license and everything else. They all became all chattel attachments.
What about the voter registration?
Yes, that's a chattel mortgage. It's a certificate. Do not they use that voter registration when they vote in the Senate and the House to basically put bills out? They need something to basically write the bonds against. So they use that number, that voter registration number.
Must keep thinking happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts. Excuse me? Whoa. My friend and I need to get to the East Australian Current.
Ah, sure, the EAC.
So, what is the EAC? Glad you asked. EAC stands for Election Assistance Commission, and simply put, our goal is to make your job easier. No, seriously. We were established by the Help America Vote Act of 2002 as an independent, bipartisan commission charged with helping Americans vote. The primary way we do that? By ensuring election officials have the support and resources they need. We help in a few ways. We craft and adopt the voluntary voting system guidelines, accredit test laboratories, and certify voting systems, serve as the nation's clearinghouse of information and best practices related to elections. We also maintain the National Mail Voter Registration Form, which can be used to register to vote, update registration information with a new name or address, or register with a political party, and develop recommendations and standards that address the needs of voters, state and local election leaders, and other election stakeholders. At the end of the day, we work to ensure every eligible American has the opportunities to vote independently, privately, and with confidence in our nation's election system. We do everything in our power to make sure election officials have what they need to support that. Learn more at eac.gov.
As a attachment back to our corporation. We're the owners of what they're buying with those bills. that they pass in the Senate and the House. And we're putting up the security for it. Does that make sense?
Sure. And you've explained that meaning of a bill before.
Now, is what we have to do, we have to get rid of our grantor, corporate, and mortgage or soul. I give up my Iowa grantor, corporate, and mortgagor soul by this execution. Therefore, when there is no more soul for those grantors and mortgagors, they now become void. They have to be reddition back to the American estate owner.
REDDITION.
You'll find it in Black's dictionary. A surrendering or restoration. Also, a judicial acknowledgement that the thing in demand belongs to the demandant and not to the person surrendering. It belongs to us. But if you go into Black's Law Dictionary and look up chattel mortgage, you're going to see a couple things there that basically are going to sort of jump out at you that, hey, if you don't comply and do the redemption in a certain period of time, then basically the title becomes absolute in the mortgagee. Well, that's what they're operating under and stating that we did not come in and claim this back. So now the title has become absolute in the mortgagee. Well, if we execute the mortgagee, then basically it has to come back to us. And it's by his free will that basically he gives his soul up. And then we're the competent attesting witness on the document. Now let them try and backpedal out of that one.
Okay, and on the final order, the third one, where we are appointing the AG as the authorized representative, we're asking for a final signed copy back from the AG. We want him to sign this and return a copy to us. Is that right?
Yes. I changed that to say, submit to me a final signed copy for my records and protection.
Okay. And for this, we can send this. I'm in 3 states, so I need to send it to 3 states.
No, you don't.
For the additional
You send it to your birthing state, where the corporation's at.
Okay, and I'll clean up the other driver's licenses and voter registration card.
Yes.
Okay. Because
they're all attached by way of the Social Security account number, the mortgage, the SSN fraudulent chattel mortgage. And that's all that is.
Okay.
It's a mortgaging instrument.
And
then all chattel attachments are processed through that. Even the DD-214 has the Social Security number on it. So basically, that DD-214 now became a chattel attachment to the mortgage, to the chattel mortgage.
Right. And we sent this in on the original copy of the certificate of live birth, but we can use a copy of all the other documents.
If you've got the original, send them in. If you don't, basically make a copy of them.
Okay. Go with what you got. Got it.
Yes.
And it seems this one sheet here would be an excellent thing to put into a court case. It more or less serves as a trump card.
Yes, you turn around, you assign the judge, or you assign the prosecutor to be the authorized representative.
Or you just give it to a police officer.
This is one of your powers that you have for the 10th Amendment.
Right.
The right of assignment.
Okay.
Or the power of assignment. They don't want you to know that basically that's where you get the power.
Okay.
Those powers are reserved to us until we come forward and claim them. They tried to take our rights and our powers away from us and place them under this Social Security chattel mortgage bill. Now, what I did, I put down, like at the very first paragraph there, Last Will and Testament by Patrick Devine, all capital. The Iowa corporate grantee, mortgagee of this Patrick Devine, Iowa corporation certificate, and then I put my certificate number, which is my birthing number, and that is a corporation certificate number. It's got the state, the first 3 digits from your state, the year of incorporation, and then the number. Okay? The next item is the SSN fraudulent chattel mortgage number. And it's your Social Security number. And there again, that Social Security number is assigned by the region or by the state with the first 3-digit numbers. And then all chattel attachments. I am by my free will surrendering it as a voluntary reconveyance back to the Iowa corporate grantee or grantor, assignor. Got that wrong.
Patrick, what about old court orders and cases from before? Would that be applicable?
Basically, they will all be settled. Okay, you get the basic foundation in, and basically everything else has to come tumbling down. Okay. It's like a house of cards. You kick out the bottom card, and basically all the rest of them are going to come falling down.
Got it.
Pick up sticks, whatever.
And what if someone had open cases currently?
Submit it in.
Just go ahead and put it
Surrender this in. Basically, write this up and give it to the judge.
Okay.
Trump card.
Especially if you've got a federal court case.
Oh.
You've got one up on the damn deal. Okay?
Yeah.
So we're not using me. Go ahead.
What? Go ahead.
I heard you mention about the signature. I see you changed that. But we were doing it like in behalf of, right?
Right. We're still doing it on his behalf.
Okay.
Okay, for the grantee and the mortgagee, and the grantor and the mortgagor on his behalf. But when we sign down below as the competent witness, we're signing our real signature.
Okay.
Okay? But see, we're signing as a competent attesting witness because this is the last will and testament for our grantee and grantors, or mortgagee and mortgagor, because they're going to give up their souls. They're dying. They're dead. And if you don't have a corporate soul, the corporation can't operate. The same thing for a mortgage. Basically, if the mortgage don't have a soul of a mortgagor or a mortgagee, the mortgage is dead. Now it has to be liquidated and returned back to the original owner. Pretty simple. Let's get him out of here. Let's execute him. And see, this falls right into place with what took place on Calvary. Did they not break the legs of the good thief and the bad thief first? And then they speared Jesus later on? So you have to get rid of your grantee and grantor, or mortgagee and mortgagor first. Then you come down and you terminate the rest of it. And then you, as the owner, you go off into Never Never Land, never to be seen by these damn corporation bullshit heads.
Hmm.
You become free. And that's what they don't want you to do. Free of their control. And see, when there is no souls, this corporation has to go into dissolution. It has to. And at that point in time, it has to be liquidated. We've been trying to get to this point for years. We were trying to do the 966 form with the IRS for a corporate dissolution. We've tried to go to the Attorney General before, but we didn't get rid of the souls of the grantor, mortgagor, and grantee and mortgagee, because we didn't know that they were two separate entities. We were trying to do one the grantor and grantee, but we were missing the biggie, the mortgagor and mortgagee. The one that has the mortgage over the corporation. And until you get rid of the mortgagee and mortgagor, you can't take out the corporation, grantee and grantor. That makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does to me, but basically my sense is a lot different than most people's senses.
Yep.
Just you got to come in with clean hands.
Yeah. And then we let them bury the dead. Because we cannot intercourse with the dead. Everybody understand that one? Let the dead bury the dead.
Yeah, you talked about
You're
that last time.
oxymoron. I don't know if you're dead. I don't know if you do.
Well, the dead is the fiction, so let the fiction bury the fiction.
Well, but basically it's now a dead corporation, and now they have to liquefy, do a termination and liquidation of that dead corporation. Before they put it in the ground, they have to take all the rings and everything else off the damn body and give it over to you. You don't bury the damn assets with the damn corporation. We're not going to play like the damn pharaohs and all that shit. What the hell are they going to do with that damn shit in the damn grave? Leave it there for some grave robber to come and take that off? Undertaker to put it in his back pocket before he closes up the coffin? They've been known to do that shit.
Sure.
Then why would you ever put somebody in a damn coffin anyway? Why would you ever want to dig them up and look at them? You take a last look at them, take a picture, and basically now you remember that. Because you open up the coffin up 25 years from now or whatever, and basically it's going to basically just stink or whatever. I don't know what all.
So Patrick,
but that isn't the person that you buried any longer. It's deteriorating.
Right.
But you want to let them deteriorate a lot faster, so that you never put them in a coffin.
I like
because that's an abomination to the Lord God of the universe.
I like the idea of becoming an apple tree.
Yeah, cherry tree.
Okay. That's better.
So I mentioned the other night, Patrick, about if people had plots or whatever you call them already that for in the future.
You don't worry about that. Okay, you worry about this right now, okay?
Well,
when you get this taken care of, you're going to have more damn money and you know what the hell to do with, okay?
Well, no, I was wondering if you could actually add...
You could turn around and sell those plots at some other nitwit out there that wants to buy a cheap plot. Sell them to them for half price.
Well, I was thinking, could you maybe add that particular thing as an instrument to attach to this?
No, you go out like Abraham or whatever and buy a plot of land, and then you bury it in your plot of land. You own that land now. So you have them dug up and you put them in your own private cemetery. But don't put them in a coffin.
I get that part. I just didn't know if it could actually be attaches like the driver's license, like the chattel.
The what?
Yes, I was thinking it could be like one of those instruments, like the voter's registration, the license.
You attach all of these to this document.
Yep.
Right. And my inquiry was, would you be able to attach that as one of those?
What, the cemetery plots?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Okay.
You've got to come about those in a different manner, okay, for their estate.
Okay.
They're not used yet, though. I think she said in the last call that they're not used yet. They're just for future use.
Right. The ones that for people when they pass on, it's,
Yeah, they're just, they're just like you going out and buying another car and having it sit there and you're not using it yet. Okay? You haven't got it registered or anything else. You can turn around and sell it. Let the other people register it if they want to.
Yeah, that explains it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not been registered or titled or anything. Okay.
No. There's nobody in the thing yet, so basically they can't access anything in it.
Yeah, let's hope not. Okay, got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
You see, you make things so damn complicated. It was simple. If you would have stopped and thought about this, you could have thought this one out.
You're right. I could have.
Yeah. That's stupid. Okay?
Yeah.
You graduated from high school, didn't you?
As far as I know, yeah.
Well, or junior high, whatever. Basically, even grade school. Most people should be able to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
They didn't teach us anything even remotely close to what we learn on these calls.
It's all common sense, and everybody has common sense. You just got to start pulling it to the forefront and get rid of all that bullshit sense that you've been fed.
And we've been fed a lot of it.
Yeah. And that's why when you handwrite these things out, then you're best off. Okay, I've tried to tell Tom, put these up in PDF, then you guys are on your own. Okay? Not going to do any more of this Word document stuff. You take it and you handwrite it. Therefore, you have to now read the thing. And then when you're writing it, you should be reading it, and then you reread it after you've written it out to see whether you transcribed it properly. And then in a lot of cases, you may come up with something that you see that basically would enhance it even more. And that's what I'm waiting for some people to come on here and give additional enhancements to these documents. How many times have I rewritten this damn document? I'm the one that's doing all the enhancing. But this is what we have to do. We have to get rid of the souls, our corporation, and mortgage souls of the grantee, grantor, mortgagee, and grantor and mortgagor. Because then without their souls, basically, those items can't exist any longer. When you sign as the authorized representative, and see, that's why you've got to line out that line on your checks. Because then if you overdraft that check with the bank, they're going to come after you. But if you line it out and you put on his behalf in front of that, then they will go, and if there won't be any overdraft, because they can go and draft the money out of the account, out of your estate account, your mortgaged account.
Mm.
See, we don't know the damn banking system.
Right.
And all these people out here that have been fighting all this shit about the mortgages and everything else, they never looked at half the shit that they should have. Like I said, in a conditional sale, the purchaser has merely a right to repurchase. They're giving you an opportunity to basically repurchase the house. But how many people have ever gone to that sheriff's sale and tried to buy their house back? Nobody.
Right.
And all you had to do was basically sign it over to your damn estate. Have the money now come totally out of the account and settle the debt. In full. Make the full purchase this time. Because you didn't know how to sign the document when you first bought the house. Yeah, you go in on a loan. Basically, you basically sign on his behalf. You're getting a loan from your mortgaged assets. So that's where they would go and draw the funds out of. Now, do you have to pay that back? No, it's yours.
The question was, what was the volition of a borrower to borrow money? Right? What they don't teach you is that the person they advertise on TV, you're taught by your parents, and we learn from example, to go out and borrow money to buy a home. If you're fortunate enough to pay cash for it, that's another thing. But maybe only one person in 100 actually pays cash for a home. The rest of the world goes out and they borrow the money. And the home is used as the equity to back up the mortgage itself. But a bank is not allowed to lend money from its investors or its depositors. So you go ahead and you sign this false document. And then the bank takes this false document to a treasury window where the person standing at the treasury window hands over to the bank $500,000 so you can buy your house. And they say, well, we got a mortgage here. And the person who is going to hand you hand that bank that mortgage money is a second grade reading level, or a fiction level like this, reading level, and doesn't understand what correct parse syntax grammar looks like. So they cut a check and give it to the bank. And the bank goes back, and the ABC bank goes ahead and they make a deposit into the ABC account with the $500,000, and now under the laws of fraction banking, because they now have a $500,000 deposit, create $5 million. Then they take that $5 million on day 2, and they write a check for $500,000, and they run it back over under Title 15, Section 1635A of the 3-day rescission law, and they give the money back to the Treasury saying, we canceled the mortgage, we canceled the loan, we're not going to borrow this money from this person's security account, Social Security account. Then they turn around and they go back and they write a note. NO means no and TE means contract, that's parse. So now we have a no contract note where the entire document has boxes. All the numbers are placed in independent boxes. All the written words are placed into another set of boxes. A box is an enclosed area under the rules of styles of all the world's style manuals for advertising. And because the words and the numbers are kept separate by these independent boxes, and the entire document is boxed, and there's only room for one signature. A signature starts with SI, like the word sign is SI, like the word simulation is SI. When you have an autograph, which is the way I punctuate my name here, David Wynn, Miller, that's called an autograph. That means authentic, author, authorization. And that makes me a fact. But when you simulate, which is cursive writing, the root word of cursive is to do evil on others. And when you're doing evil on others by cursive and you angle your words, that's italicizing, which removes it from the paper. And if you're going to italicize what you've just written, you voided your contract. So the bank goes ahead and they take your Social Security money and they lend it to you. The bank does not have title to the property. They do not have a note because it's been written in modified grammar and all the numbers are boxed. They don't have a contract because it's bastardized, written in fiction language. This is straight lines and curved lines on a piece of paper called ART, A-R-T, which is a vowel and 2 consonants, which means no contract. So therefore, if you put things in perspective, when they're using their words called real property, RE being no contract, and property being no person's contract, they're telling you, they're advertising to you through parse that we have no contracts here, that you are a nothing, we nom de guerre your name. Now if you look up nom de guerre as a dead person, pseudium, and you look at the laws under maritime codes, can a dead person own land or write contracts? The answer is no, it's forbidden. So they go ahead and they bastardize the grammar, so there is no contract. And no is an adverb making a negative adverb, which makes contract into a verb fiction. Again, this goes into a vicious circle of modification and trickery and deception over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that what they did in the first place, though? I mean, so the bank ends up getting paid again.
They get paid a service fee. That's all they should ever be getting. But when you argue with them, basically they're getting a hell of a lot more out of you, and that's why they keep building bigger and fancier banks. Just like the insurance companies. You don't need insurance.
We are the insurance.
Yeah, it's all our shit to begin with. Okay? So what are you doing? You're just doubling up in a lot of cases doing a reinsurance.